looking for isn't impairment, it's metabolites. THC.
Everyone knows that recreational or medicinal use of marijuana is legal in some states but remains illegal at the federal level.
Tobacco about that puts innocent people in jail every single day. And that misconception is all about weed, the ganja, the devil's lettuce, wacky tobacco, motherfucking marijuana. So let's clear this up so you guys can blaze free with good vibes if that's your thing. Marijuana is illegal in all 50 states under federal statutes, despite the fact that many states have legalized recreational use or decriminalized it. Not understanding the nuances at play here or how to deal with the police when you're high or sober can mess up your life for decades to come. But fear not, because I am going to walk you through it. It's what friends do. Now, suppose you take a trip to Las Vegas. Marijuana is completely decriminalized there. You go into a licensed dispensary, you buy something legally, you use it legally, have a great time, and go back home to a state without decriminalization. Let's say Arizona. 2 weeks go by. You get in your car completely sober, and you get into a minor accident. Or you get pulled over for something small, like speeding, a broken taillight, whatever. The officer thinks he smells something, or just decides to investigate further. Now you're doing field sobriety tests. Maybe you're nervous and you don't pass. Remember, these tests are subjective, and so your fate depends on how the cop interprets them. But here's where it turns. They're going to detain you and pressure you into taking your blood. And what they're looking for isn't impairment, it's metabolites. THC breaks down in your body into 11-nor-9-carboxy-THC. It's not psychoactive. It doesn't impair you at all. But it can stay in your system for weeks after you use cannabis. So now you're sitting there completely sober and your own body is giving the state evidence against you. There are states where the law says that any amount of a controlled substance or its metabolite is enough to be a crime. It does not matter when you actually ingested it. Arizona actually had this exact issue. Their law made it illegal to drive with any drug or its metabolite in your body, which meant in theory, someone could legally use marijuana, wait weeks, drive sober, and still be guilty of a DUI. So the Arizona Supreme Court had to step in and address this scenario. Arizona's DUI statute made it illegal to drive with any drug or its metabolite in the body, and prosecutors argued that this included non-impairing marijuana metabolites like carboxy-THC. The court rejected this interpretation, holding the statute does not criminalize the presence of inactive, non-impairing metabolites. The court reasoned that interpreting the law that broadly would lead to absurd results, allowing the state to prosecute drivers who are completely sober and unimpaired, including lawful medical marijuana users. Instead, the statute was limited to substances capable of causing impairment. In other words, the mere presence of a lingering inactive metabolite is not enough for a DUI conviction in Arizona. But a lot of states have yet to see the light on how absurd this is and probably won't anytime soon. So you can end up in a situation where you did everything right and still get in trouble weeks later. What happens in Vegas does not always stay in Vegas. And if you happen to be in one of these states after a fun weekend in Vegas and you get into a car crash and the police get your blood, you will be facing a DUI for having a metabolite. You're not high, you just have the metabolite in your blood. And God forbid somebody is injured, that can easily become a felony where you're facing years in jail. If you happen to find yourself in one of these states where the metabolites equals a DUI, what do you do if you're pulled over? Well, I'm not your lawyer, but I can give you some best friend advice. Don't admit to smoking marijuana. Don't admit to taking gummies. Don't do any of that. Don't make the state's job easier in prosecuting you. If they get your blood, don't fight the officers on that. They're just doing their job too. But the absence of your confession, that might be a way for your attorney to attack the ability for them to get their blood. Or if they do get your blood, your attorney can kick it out. They won't have your confession to try to bolster their case. So please do not admit to wrongdoing, period. Definitely not in one of these states where the metabolites equals a DUI. So remember, this is not legal advice from a lawyer. This is advice from your best friend that happens to be a lawyer.
Yes.
Let's start with the part that trips people up the most. Marijuana is legal now, Most people hear the word legal and then they stop listening. It's legal in my state is what people tell themselves when they walk out of a dispensary with a flower or edibles or a vape. But that's not how the law actually works. And that misunderstanding is sending people to court. Here is the problem. There isn't one marijuana law in this country. There's federal law and there's 50 state laws that don't always agree with each other. These layers don't line up. So what feels legal may not always be safe. Start with the state-to-state problem. You're in Illinois. You walk into a licensed dispensary. You show your ID. You buy marijuana completely legally under the Illinois Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act. You have a receipt. You have a bag. Everything feels above board. You get into your car. You drive back home to Indiana. Now you're committing a crime. Indiana Code 3548411 makes it a criminal offense to possess marijuana, period. I've got clients getting pulled over at the Indiana-Illinois border for doing something that was completely legal 10 minutes earlier. And that's true for all of these borders. Go ahead, memorize them, because these are the states where if you partake legally at a bachelor party in Vegas and you happen to be traveling through, you could get a DUI, but that's just the laws of these states. I see this constantly. People assume that because something was legal where they bought it, it's legal where they are now. That is not how the law works. Your receipt from an Illinois dispensary is not a defense in an Indiana courtroom. In fact, it's going to be Exhibit A. Now, layer in the federal side and pay attention here. Under the Controlled Substances Act, that's 21 U.S.C. Section 812, marijuana is still classified as a Schedule I controlled substance. That classification means the federal government views it as having no accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. It doesn't matter what your state legislature decided. The CSA is a federal law, and federal law sits above state law when federal jurisdiction applies. And federal jurisdiction applies in more places than people realize, like federal buildings. And if you live in federally subsidized housing, marijuana possession can cost you your home under the federal drug-free housing rules, even if you're in a state where it's fully legal. In national parks, cannabis is illegal on every trail, every campground, and every parking lot in national parks and forests. So you can be in Colorado, one of the first states to legalize recreational marijuana, and be completely legal under state law. But the moment you step onto federal property, state law does not protect you. Now, I know what you're saying, but Mark, do people actually get busted for smoking up in a national park? Listen, if the law is on the books, there's a risk. Federal rules in the parks haven't changed much since 1970. So if you're visiting a Rocky Mountain National Park this summer, you have to be careful. First-time offenders are often looking at smaller fines, maybe $150, maybe $350. But repeat offenders can face fines up to $5,000 and 6 months in jail, and a federal record that will follow you around for the rest of your life. And if you're not convinced that violating federal marijuana laws and national parks is going to be a problem going forward, take a look at who is now staring back at you on your national park pass. Go ahead, take a look. And don't assume a domestic flight between two legal states is safe territory. TSA operates under federal authority. What they find,
unless you're coming out of LAX,
they can refer for prosecution. The fact that Denver and Portland both allow marijuana is not a legal defense for what's in your carry-on. And it gets even stranger when you look at individual airport policies. Some airports, like LAX, effectively allow you to carry small amounts so long as you're within state law. Others go the opposite direction. Denver International Airport, for example, bans marijuana entirely on airport property, even though it's legal in Colorado. Las Vegas has similar restrictions, along with amnesty boxes where travelers can actually dump cannabis before going through security. So the rule isn't just federal versus state, it's airport by airport. The same exact bag could be ignored in one terminal, confiscated in another, and could get you cited somewhere else. So that's the illusion. You think the law changed because cannabis became legal, but what actually happened is that one layer of the law changed. That gap between layers is where people get arrested. The moral of the story is, know the layers. Know where you are, don't trust websites or ChatGPT, call a local defense attorney and just ask what the state laws are and what kind of things people get in trouble for doing. They are probably not going to charge you, and now you have a lawyer in your address book if you ever need it. Now, while it's true that criminal punishments for marijuana use and possession have lessened over the past few decades, the federal government can still strip you of your constitutional rights even when you use marijuana legally. It's messed up, but it's being challenged right now in the Supreme Court. And now, the fate of you being able to get lawfully lifted without the risk of losing your rights may come down to, and I swear I'm not making this up, how often Thomas Jefferson got shit-faced drunk. So, here's a question the Supreme Court is actually wrestling with right now. If you take one THC gummy every other night, can the government take away your guns? The case is United States v. Himani. Here's what happened. The FBI searched a home in Texas. They found a gun and some marijuana. The guy, Ali Himani, admitted he smoked weed every other day. Prosecutors charged him under a federal law that says if you're an unlawful user of a controlled substance, you lose your Second Amendment rights. Full stop. The district court threw it out. The Fifth Circuit agreed. Now it's at the Supreme Court. And here's the thing. The justices are not buying what the government is selling. Under precedent from New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin, the government doesn't just get to say a gun law is a good idea or that it promotes safety. It has to show the restriction is consistent with this country's historical tradition of firearm regulation. Basically, what kind of limits existed around the time of the founding. So in a case like this, the question isn't just whether marijuana users might be dangerous, it's whether there's a real historical analog for taking away someone's gun rights based on that kind of status in the first place. The federal government argues that people who use drugs regularly are dangerous, and dangerous people can be disarmed. They point to historical laws that stripped gun rights from, and this is the key word, so remember it, habitual drunkards. The logic is, Same principle, different substance. Sounds reasonable until you poke it. And that's why Justice Gorsuch came loaded for bear. He pointed out that the founders themselves were not exactly sober.
John Adams took a tankard of hard cider with his breakfast every day. James Madison reportedly drank a pint of whiskey every day.
But by the standards of the day, these guys weren't considered habitual drunkards.
Habitual drunkard, the American Temperance Society back in the day said 8 shots of whiskey a day only made you an occasional drunkard. We have to remember the founding era if you want to invoke the founding era. To be a habitual drunkard, you had to do double that.
So Gorsuch asked, if that's the historical baseline, what exactly is the problem with Hamani smoking weed every other day in unspecified amounts?
We know he uses marijuana a few times, about every other day. That's all we have in the record, right?
That's all we have, and I'm
Okay,
not troubled by
so we don't even know the quantity of how much he uses every other day. What if he took one gummy bear with a medical prescription in Colorado? Well, you may not even need a medical prescription. You don't even need that anymore. But let's say he had one to help him sleep every other day. Disarm him for life?
Well, no, it's not disarm for life, and here's what's going
Potentially.
on. Well,
Would that be enough under your theory? One gummy bear every other night with a medical prescription.
so I think you'd have a potential Rahave problem, but I will accept the hypothetical. So let me just deal with
I think
what's
the answer
an
is
unlawful
yes.
Here's the kicker. The federal government cannot even define what an unlawful user is.
One, you asked about how do you tell who's an unlawful user? How is it more defined than a habitual drunkard? I think it's a lot clearer.
Is it? I mean,
yes.
the government has not been able to define what a user is. I mean, it is said at various points that it's someone who's used any illegal drug in the past year, right? It's said, ATF now wants to say a pattern. And you argue for habitual, which of course conflates the second half of the statute, which talks about an addict, which is different than a user, and an addict is an habitual user.
Let me be very clear about the distinction here. There is a distinction between what is the statutory definition of an unlawful user, and everyone has always agreed, including ATF, that that means habitual or frequent. And on the other hand, how do you prove that? What type of evidence is sufficient to show beyond a reasonable doubt, or for purposes of background checks for ATF purposes, that you in fact do that? So
Okay,
that
so
is
that
a
circles
discrepancy.
us back down to you would qualify as an habitual user, one gummy bear every other night.
Gorsuch's point is there's no clear line. Use it at parties and keep your gun locked at home. Are you covered? Nobody knows. The statute doesn't say. That's not law. That's a trap. Gorsuch also pointed out that the government is currently considering downgrading marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. Under the government's own theory, that would make the pot not dangerous enough to justify taking your guns. So, what are we even doing here? Gorsuch was essentially asking why the government picked this case with this drug right now. The government didn't have a great answer. Justice Sotomayor piled on, noting that Congress never actually studied whether marijuana users are more dangerous.
I think the government gave this away when it said that there was no determination by the legislature on the dangerousness of the drug with guns in terms of listing it on the schedules. So doesn't that give away the whole game for that?
I think it goes to show why this court would have to do, or a court would have to do its own inquiry, because the bare
But
fact...
why bother? Meaning, if Congress, we can only uphold the law if there is something to defer to.
Precedent.
Correct.
But if no one has actually done the analysis whatsoever.
Justice Sotomayor's point was simple. Congress never actually studied whether marijuana users are more dangerous. They just put it on a list. They're in the process of taking it off that list. And yet, that list alone justifies taking away a constitutional right, maybe forever.
But
But the direction is clear. The court is skeptical that using marijuana occasionally with your gun locked up at home makes you the kind of person the Second Amendment allows the government to permanently disarm. And that is great news for everybody that likes to partake, whether you're in Michigan, whether you're in Nevada, or in any state where marijuana is legal. Now, if you feel the government hasn't overcomplicated this enough, it gets worse. Because we need to talk about hemp-derived THC like Delta 8 and Delta 9. You know, the stuff they sell at gas stations and candy bars and drinks. I've had clients ask me straight up, as long as it's being sold over the counter, it's obviously legal, right? And the answer is
No.
Very lawyerly, it depends. So we got to talk about hemp, the plant all of these products come from. You can think of hemp as the non-intoxicating cousin of marijuana. Back in the day, they used it for everything. Sails, paper,
Bags.
textiles, ropes. Colonial
Then they
farmers
banned it.
were encouraged and even legally mandated to grow it. But the government banned industrial hemp in 1937 because of reefer madness.
Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
Which brings us to the 2018 Farm Bill, a federal law that finally legalized industrial hemp again.
The burning weed with its roots in hell.
First of all, if you're wondering why I look like an egg, it's because I just got locks, everybody. Yes, everybody, come on. I did good. Will I be showing you? That's all you want to see. That's all we're going to get you to see, because looking a bit eggy right now, and I don't like that. Okay, just kidding. It's actually fine. You can see them. Okay, it's... I don't know. I have a little puff at the back, too, if you guys like that, but... White boys. White boys. Boys that are white. White boys. It's a topic. I mean, I've always been the girl that people constantly assume just has an obsession and infatuation with white men. Like, I'm telling you, like, as soon as I open my mouth, it's just like an all right. Wrong one. It's like, all right, this one likes the white ones. This one likes the vanilla, the sweetener, you know, the coconut inside type shit. And I'm just like, what? Why? Why am I being branded this way? I take offense. I do. No hate to the white mayo. That's the wrong word. I don't want to be offensive. No hate.
Come on.
To these individuals. You
We're not all bad.
guys, we've had experiences. I can't say all of them have been great, you know. If I'm being completely honest, I'm scared of white men. Like, I'm seriously scared of them. They go about life in such a frictionless way that I am just not familiar with. Like, it's just totally different from me. They, like, walk around with zero care in the world. They constantly almost, like, run me over the sidewalk, street. You know, like this, you know, like, it's like if we were all cars walking down the sidewalk. You get what I'm trying to say. Like, they almost get me because they just don't have a care, you know? They don't have a dang care in the world. So it's like, okay, but no, seriously, like, I've talked about this. Like, the white individuals who happen to be men, they really seriously are at that top of the list of individuals who just have frictionless lives, bro. Like, they are the archetype, like, human being archetype in Western society. That's white men. You know, they walk around like I am human, like I am embodied. I see myself everywhere. Can't imagine that. That's like an innate confidence, right? That, like, is just from birth. Like, imagine if all black women had that. That would be fucking peak, right? We would just be creating and doing shit. I'm trying to get to that confidence of a white man, just like that shit they were born with. It's a lot of work for us to even get to that point they were at 5. So I'm getting off topic here. I really want to talk about, like, this whole thing of vanilla chocolate swirl. You know, I've seen online, especially this discourse a lot, especially when it comes to black women, where it's just like, stop dating white men. Stop talking to them. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. And I'm just like,
Nah,
let's look at it. Like, why are black women trying to talk to white men? What I think it is, I think I have cracked the puzzle, because I definitely would say that I understand what it's like to be self-hating. I think, like, anyone on either side of the spectrum, if you're a black woman, a black man, a Asian woman, Asian man, whatever, right? And you're obsessed with, like, or only date a certain race, the white race, I feel like that's definitely, there is some self-hating there. Like, I don't care. I don't do this whole preference thing. So that was the CIA trying to just spin some shit and throw it out and hope it sticks, and it stuck because y'all just take anything. Like, this whole preference thing, you exist in the context, guys, okay? You exist in the context. Say what you want about Kamala. That quote, I quote it every day. Like, you are an amalgamation of your biology and your socialization. And we know that you weren't biologically encoded as a black female to, like, only want to be on the white.
I'm not. I get it. Attack on Titan's reference is gonna hurt me.
Same thing with the white punani for black guys, which, let me just say, to pause the conversation, this shit should not be even on us, okay? Y'all are the ones who really be doing it more, which I'm not even saying is bad. Again, date who you want to date. I am saying if you have, like, if that's your, like, 99% of who you talk to, just take a look. Like, let's unpack the, let's, like, unpeel the orange, like onions have layers type shit, I'm just saying, like, just let me be the first.
I don't like type shit.
But I do feel like for black women, it's like you are of the gender, which gender makes up so much of like how you're supposed to act. Like, truly, we're on the stage all the time. Like, this is why movies exist, to almost like make a jab at life, right? Life is a play. We are all playing a script, whether we know it or not. Like, we're all playing a part, and we act on the basis of what we think and believe we are. That's why actors are taught to really believe whatever character they're embodying. You have to understand that, like, you are acting out of your beliefs. You are an amalgamation of your ideas, your beliefs, and you're acting from them. That's what makes you kind of play your part. And so when you're a woman, right, you're of this social category that's very scripted. Like, the male archetype is scripted for sure. Masculinity is super, like, so many lines to memorize, there's a lot there. But for the female archetype, it's even more so, because at least the dudes have the boys will be boys type shit. The dudes have the whole, like, go crazy, get wild. We kind of have a whole other operating system where it's like a lot more of our identity is already encoded and set in stone, how we are supposed to act, how we're supposed to compose ourselves, how we're supposed to express our emotions, and even manage other people's emotions. And on top of that, our social category is inherently, derived from sex and maintained by our ability to give up sex. Like, our positionality in regard to sex, right? Like, sex really becomes tied to your worth. Like, I think the biggest battle most women of all races are struggling with is like, damn, like, if I'm not desirable to men, what's my function here? Like, that's my plot. It's like I was told this is my
You're
part.
a bot.
Like, I've been told this whole time that's what makes me valuable. I just need a man. Like, the
These
princess
all
movies,
recorded in
the
the same
romance
day.
movies, rom-coms marketed to us to get us to have, like, to embody some object of desire that's outside of ourselves, and it's men, okay? So I think the archetype of black women who is kind of perceived as like the male munchers, like obsessed with the white men, probably grew up in whiter areas. You could think of like a middle class, upper middle class black girl. And black girls can turn out a lot of different ways when you come from this type of area. It's difficult, but really you are surrounded by a lot of white men. Take it from me, I would know, okay? And
plural.
I think that what happens for black women is like being with a white man will truly just validate your femininity. Like, because white men are seen as like the real people in this whole social play, like they are the people who are just embodied. Like, that's the archetype of human being. That's men, specifically white men. They don't have any of these other, like, unless obviously, let's say cis heterosexual white men, okay? They don't have any of these other social categories pulling them back, codifying them, putting barriers on them. They only got the masculinity thing, which, okay?
I don't know about all
like receive
that.
Validation from a white male, you almost have an external, like, proof of your womanhood and so your value, right? Because we know that, again, like, as black women, we are really treated as one of the most undesirable archetypes, like, period. The whole point of womanhood is to not be manhood, not be masculine. Or the whole point of womanhood, is to be soft and cared for and small, almost childlike, which honestly, guys, I would say we should wake that up. Because what the fuck? I will just put that out there. The Epstein class, I'll just say that. But, right, that is womanhood. And when you're a black woman, you are kind of throttled out of that category and put into this undesirable, like, here's how I'll describe it just from the dome, right? How you are at least plastered by media.
I need to get my dog.
masculine, monstrous, like just in class. I'll just say that. But, right, that is womanhood. And when you're a black woman, you are kind of throttled out of that category and put into this undesirable, like, here's how I'll describe it just from the dome, right? How you are at least plastered by media, masculine, monstrous, like just totally, like, if you think of like a white, small, cute, fluffy bunny, like that's how they kind of represent white women in the media. Black women, look at that meme.
That's not what they mean by Schnur Benny. Pretty sure they came from like ski lodges.
Of Cynthia Erivo. I'm gonna have to put it on the screen. I don't want to edit. I don't do editing anymore. But like, black women are just like this, like type shit. That's what they're trying to indoctrinate you with. You know, that's what they're trying to put in your brain, in your noggin. I feel those things, right? You can see it with what they do with the media. It's just so obvious. It's called mind control, brainwashing, guys. So I'm just saying, if you're a little bitch, you'll succumb to it. If not, you know what to do. So one way to feel like you're fulfilling womanhood, which is really like gender in general in the Western societies, is really archetyped by race, right? It's really created for white people, created by and for white people in Western society. The way to do it, the way to kind of win that game and to win your role that you were designated is to be with a white man as being a black woman. Like, that's one of the ways. It's like, feels like one of the prime ways to win that game. And I think that's why a lot of black women do it.
My grandma did that.
In addition, let's look at the OJ story. You know, time and time again, Kanye West, look at like black men, especially ones who get affluent, will tend to leave black women behind to kind of optimize for this white beauty standard for their partner. Like, at least black men, because they're men, can kind of still embody the human role. Like, there's not too many, obviously the black category is a huge one. Race is the biggest thing in my opinion. But like, one way they can still be in the, like, competing, one way they can still compete in the social game is if they bag a white girl, because she is a symbol of success for men, period. So now that we have like more open racial social roles, a lot of black men have tried to win with massa by shitting on black women. Like, it's really like unfortunate. Like, even at my school, I'll tell y'all a funny story. Like, I go to USC,
it might be funny.
So it's predominantly white and Asian, and you got it like 5% black people, okay? And these black people are definitely coming from like middle class to upper middle class to definitely, there's a lot of upper class black people because the school's super expensive. Thank you, merit scholarship. But opening up. So my friends and I went to some like black fraternity party like freshman year, and my friend thinks this guy is cute. You know, it's a black dude, tall, curly hair. And she's like, dude, I want to go talk to him. Can y'all tell him I think he's cute? So we go up to the dude. And we're like, hey, dude, my friend thinks you're cute. The girl over there with the curly hair, she thinks you're cute. Bro looks us in the face and says, sorry, I'm a coon.
Why would he?
So that...
Why?
kind of sums up some of the problems that come within the black community. You definitely see a large group of black men, especially ones who have also been in white spaces, just try to completely distance themselves from their black female archetypes, counterparts, to level up socially in the social game, okay? And I just think, like, for Black women, it's like you are desperate. Like, you have people from your own community turning from you. You're always trying to, like, you're always forced to be seen in this, like, strong role, you know? And sometimes Black women are desperate for a win, desperate for something to come and save them. They want to, because you have to hold so much in society as a Black woman, just to feel like you can just be swept up and win without having to, like, do this labor. Sometimes, like, a white man, for some Black women, can feel that way. But to shift it back to me, okay, because it's my show. Before I really had access to the internet, white men were pretty much all I saw. The only other dudes I saw were my family, who was obviously Black, okay? And of course, like, I had crushes on white guys because it was really only white guys around. There was literally, like, I kid you not, like, 0 Black dudes in my school. Like, I think there was 1 or 2 in middle school, and then in high school 2 more came. But they were, guess what they were? Snow bunny warriors. You know, they did not fuck with Black women. Like, they would actually go out of their way to point at the Black girls they saw at school and be like, oh, fuck, no. Like, they were walking around the school like it was a winter wonderland, just excited, because it was very easy for them to have interactions with white women. Let's just say that. Okay? So, yeah, before I had access to the internet for real, white men were the only, white boys, I should say boys, I was literally like 12. They were the only ones I saw, they're the only dudes I saw around, so obviously I had crushes on them. Obviously, like, you know, that was the deal. But as soon as quarantine happened, I was like around 14, 15 there, I really felt my, like, range of, like, understanding what I might be attracted to really grow. Because I had TikTok. TikTok was just like boom, and there was just so many different people. Like, there's just such an influx of information, but specifically, like, you saw so many different people all the time. And that's when I started to really break away from this whole, like, mold of my suburban town in Pennsylvania. Like, I just started to realize, like, wow, there's so much more to beauty, not only for men but for myself. Like, and I really started to more gain a type, which was literally no type. Bad bitches is the only thing I like, y'all know. Like, I don't do that. I don't do that whole thing. Like, why am I sitting here like, oh, you're, well, let's look at your ancestry tree. No, like, I don't care. There are fine people of every race, and I don't get this whole thing. Again, this whole preference thing, like, it's
you can't go
word.
outside.
Preference is a cute word. I'll even take linguistics into it. Like it's like, oh, cute, like, preference. It's just a preference. It's just my choice. I have agency. I have autonomy. You're actually submitting to mind control from Epstein, I think. Like, white beauty standards are Epsteinian in nature. Like, it's so weird. Like, it's so jarring. Like, I remember looking at this one model, Gabriette, and she had done a photo shoot right after some of the Epstein file shit came out, and it was horrendous. Like, she just looked so crazy. And that's not, like, about her looks. She's a beautiful woman. It's not about that whatsoever. The photo shoot looked haunted and deadly, and it looked Epsteinian. I'll just have to say that. Like, all the comments were just like, this is Epsteinian to the core. And it just felt like the bridge between the underworld, the truth of, like, how this world operates, pedophile rings of the 1%, and, like, you know, the outside, what we see, models who are skinny to the bone, people who are dying on the runway. You just start to see a connection, right? Like, the system cosplays the oppression that holds it up, right? It almost feels like a reflecting mirror. You get to see hell, right, on your screen. And, you know, that just, a lot of these things just start to break the spell for me. You know, it's really easy to get addicted to this whole skinny politics, this whole, you know, all these trends. Until you take a step back and you start to see the links. You know, you start to see the links, and then you start to want to choose what you're attracted to, and you want to take back control over, you know, your mind. And my mind has been all of our minds have been colonized, right? They own our attention boxes, aka nowadays TikTok, Instagram, right? They own them and then curate what you get to see and just slop it onto you, right? And slop it into your brain, and you ingest it, and then you say, okay, this is what everybody's doing. This is what everybody thinks is fine. This is what everybody thinks is cute and tea. Who's everybody? That's Epstein, nigga. It's Epstein. It's Epstein. Like, when y'all gonna get it through your head? When y'all gonna get it through your head? Big Brother's today. I go through the TikTok slop app. It's almost like it's an addiction for me, but not in the conventional way, because it's not fun. Like, I don't enjoy it. I observe, and if you watch me watching
That's
on
what
my
I used
phone,
to do. I don't
like
do
scrolling,
that.
I'm just like, this is me scrolling. Like, I'm uncomfortable because I'm observing and dissecting and hoping to find a way to cure the I don't want to say cancer because that's a
Bad
serious term
thing.
for me, but it's just a virus.
The plague.
I'm gonna call it the retro disease. Is what
Bet she bugging.
they've been pushing onto us in different forms ever since they've had control, which has been forever, right? It's a retro disease. This looks maxing stuff. I'm gonna do a whole other video on that. It's just jarring, guys.
What if I do it first?
It's just it's so manufactured. You could just start to see, like, the CIA agent crafting this shit, or, the CIA agents, input on the algorithm, allowing kids with the retro disease, amplified on the app. You'll see a clearly AI
Too much grabber.
picture on TikTok, just immediate 20K, likes. The account was created yesterday. What human being who is real gets that kind of traction? It's very rare. The AI accounts everywhere, amplified, blasted. Why do you think that is? We're getting off topic. This is about white boys. This is about white boys, but we're circling it back. We're gonna find it back, okay? What I'm trying to say is, I think that we're not in control of what we want until we take that agential choice. The reason why a black girl wants white boys, same thing why white boy want, no. Same reason why black girl, fuck. Fuck, guys. I need my clicker. You need to take back control, black girl. Honestly, if you're struggling with this, it's an addiction.
Facts.
I would say. It's really more about you. You have to look inside, and you have to find the value.
What did I just watch?
Right, you have to start to have ideas that are so fucking immaculate. Like, open up the notes app really quickly. I want you to do that.
No.
Seriously.
No. It's your birthday. She eat a birthday.
Just start to have those ideas, because you can do it. I'm telling you to do it, right? Become aware.
Just don't patent them first. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, don't share.
The fact that you can have amazing, immaculate ideas and write them down, and then look at them again. Look back at them and really think for yourself, is this not an immaculate idea? Okay? And if it is, you're going to think, low-key, wait, what the fuck? Am I low-key goated? Like, am I low-key like type shit? And you are. And that's the thing. You are. What's the white boy gonna do for you? It doesn't mean you don't want to listen. If the white boy is sitting there ready to learn, he has his pencil, ready to learn about your hair, ready to learn about everything, and he's deconstructed his biases, he's on the same wavelength, he's also looking inside for that immaculateness. W, obviously. W. I don't give a fuck about this color shit, guys. This whole color shit. Green, black, blue, pink. Y'all know. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I don't give a fuck. I would just say, take back your agency and what you desire. Remember again that, like, what everybody likes is not the case. It's the Epstein algorithm nowadays, guys. It's the Peter Thiel algorithm. Why do you think Peter Thiel owns Clavicular? Okay, you need to start remembering. Oh,
because he's from the J.
Shit. Those three people control everything. Let me lock the fuck back in. Why do you think they...
Bro, he's from the J.
want to control you?
Because he's from the J?
Right? You must have something, right?
The Big Bang happened in Camden, New Jersey, bro.
Right? And just craft your own desire. Remember, tap back into yourself and remember what you actually like. You can always go back to when you were a kid. You know why they're obsessed with kids? Because kids are way less tainted by this reality. They don't got a 9 to 5. They're not forced to ingest slop. It gives purity because they're able to just exist and be in the natural human form. That's what everybody wants, you know? So remember that child self, remember what you actually fuck with, and embody that. Everyone's gonna wanna grab at you. They're gonna want a piece of you, right? Cause you're authentic, you're pure, you're whatever. I hate that word pure, it's so cringe to me. Untainted, like, this society is definitely fucked up. I don't wanna
You coolin', man.
say the word evil, it's too mystic. It's tainted, okay? But you don't have to be that. You can embody a totally different thing.
I'm trying to find
run away
somewhere
with it.
to end it.
And just be that. And then everyone's just gonna they're gonna want a piece of you. And you can just keep staying true. It's just a chill vibe to be there. And it's like, I've been starting to realize, like, oh yeah, I have that thing too. That's base, that's W. I just need to keep, now my goal now is just to keep staying in the spaces that allow that person inside me to just chill, right? A lot of people who are jealous and angry and not there themselves. Okay, so I was watching another video I posted, and someone was like, dude, I mean, I follow this girl for political content, and now I'm getting a lot of these sob stories, and I'm like, what's making this girl so sad? And I think it's really funny that you said that, because I think that really does also sum up a little bit of how I'm perceived. I don't know much about how I'm perceived. I do, but I don't. I have like this kind of vague vision of what that is, but I'm not totally familiar. But I have a sense of it. And like how I feel like I'm perceived is like this girl who's kind of reserved, kind of to herself, but has maybe more going on the inside that's not coming out, that maybe people feel distant from. And also I recognize that people find me very pretty now as compared to in the past, which is an update for me. It's been maybe 2 years of maybe feeling more like I'm perceived in the way that I wanted to be, which has been a new experience. And I think that's part of why I get so much crap from a lot of my friendships, specifically with women. I think that the problem I have is that I appear in a certain way that would usually indicate that I'm going to act a certain way. Like the way that I put attention into the way I dress and how I look and my makeup. People assume that when like the attention you're putting into your appearance is actually working out, that you're going to have some kind of confidence and that you're going to come in with like an energy that matches the way that you look on the outside. And I've noticed in my experience that's just not the way that I present whatsoever. You know, and it really does depend on the day, but on the majority of days, it's like it only takes a little bit of cracking for someone aware to realize, oh wait, this girl she's not as confident. This girl's not as secure. And it will happen in certain situations, like with people who are genuine, which I really do feel like that's becoming more and more rare, especially within younger populations. But with people who are genuine, maybe you'll just come to find that I'm nerdy.
I'm closing my eyes and I'm seeing like French Montana, Sway Lee, Rolling Loud, Kentucky.
Than they expected, which it ends up being fine. We have a great conversation and I connect with people, but with the majority of people, it's almost like a recognition of something lacking inside of me, an energy that if I did possess, I would just solo, like I would just be there and I would be unstoppable. And that's something I'm working on. But basically, I notice when people start to notice my kind of timidness and like my little, like kind of the way I second guess myself in interactions, people really tend to run wild with that, you know? And it either pisses them off, like I notice some girls really just getting pissed off with me, you know, very easily, and just trying to find ways to undermine me. Or it's just like, oh, perfect. Let me keep her in this place. Let me feel superior by, you know, pushing back on her.
How girls work.
So she's in this defensive mode. So I feel like in social interactions, when you're acting from fear, that is like the worst place you can be acting from. Because it shows instability. It shows that you're like, you know.
You're going up the pole.
when people realize that you're easy to fuck with and mess with, they're going to continue to do it. And I've noticed that in the beginning of my interactions, I feel like really first impressions are really everything. When people start to get a sense of my identity and they just they chip at me a little bit, you know, destabilizing me, like, oh, like, sometimes, a lot of times, what I've been noticing more recently, being in LA, it's like, how do I put it? With girls who are of my race but lighter skin tone, they love to mention my skin tone, which is something that I never actually thought about. But now it's on my radar more. Is like this idea of being like lighter skin versus darker skin as a black person. So that's the one that's the one example I can bring up to the table. But it's like they'll be like just, you know, small jabs or like small quote unquote jokes in that regard about my skin tone, and I'm just like, what? Like, that's not something that I feel like I would get from my community.
Almost said a word.
But that's one small kind of thing. And once they see how you react to that, they see if they can keep pushing. They see if they can keep, you know,
why would you react
going at you like that? If you don't respond the right way, you either like dismissiveness or like restructuring.
No, I'm not black.
The conversation.
Stop.
They're gonna continue. You know,
stop.
That's gonna be your role, right? Is someone that people can push back on and re-identify as they please. And I feel like the problem with I've experienced with a lot of people is just that, like, yeah, like, I don't match my exterior for people, and people feel like I'm trying.
Why are we shooting in 16 by 10?
Trying to somehow, I think I get the sense that people think I'm somehow trying to, I think I'm better than them because I'm like trying to come off as humble or try to come off as like, you know, like
J. Cole.
I don't know.
Starter music.
Like the timid, shy.
People in Japan, they're like, you should, oh, you want to listen to rap? You should start with some J. Cole.
Girl, like in like you know, the YN books. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, oh, she was so beautiful, but she's shy. Like, no, dude, I was just bullied growing up. Like,
that's lit.
Like, I was just severely bullied by people in my household and by people at school. I was the only black girl growing up in a very white, very suburban area. And that just makes a shell of a person. It's happened to both me and my sister in a way. And I'm lucky, I feel like I'm glad to have gone through it because now I can coach her through it and help her out in regard to it. But like, yeah, dude, like, it's just gonna make me that way. Not only that, but I've also just like this whole idea of ego play, like this idea of like doing jabs at people and fighting for power over defining roles in a situation. I fucking hate that. I barely have an ego. I keep telling people. Here's the second problem. I don't have an identity. I can morph into whatever people want me to, and I use that as a tool in the beginning of my life to hopefully create friendships, right? If I could become whoever people wanted me to be, boom, I got friends. Didn't work that way. I became people's little bitches. I became the people who people vent to, the person that people vent to with their problems. And then whenever they could level up socially, I'm out. You know, people who, I was the kind of person who you could just get a good, just like yell out, you know, you just yell about whatever you wanted, you know. I was the kind of person that like was really just there to suck up other people's emotions and to regulate other people's self-concepts, because other people had such a strong sense of self-concept. I didn't have that. You know, it takes me a minute to know what I want in a moment because I'm really good at assessing. I love to assess and figure out, okay, what's the most optimal for this? Like, what's my end goal in mind? What, in any situation, what do I want? Okay, if this is what I want, if I assess all the decisions I can make, which one is going to get me closer to that thing? And usually what I want is equilibrium, right? Is happiness and stability within the group. So I usually optimize towards that. But even then, when I want to peel that layer back, why do I want equilibrium? Why do I want social harmony? Is it because I'm scared that people are not going to fuck with me if there's not like complete harmony? There's also that problem. It never occurred to me in my mind, just because of this, like the identity I held growing up, that like I could exist as like an energy that kind of came in with a, you know, with a fierceness and like destabilized, like unwavering. You know, I didn't realize that I could be like that. Like, you know, I could occupy that identity of someone who doesn't necessarily negotiate their feelings, doesn't necessarily, you know, quiet their energy down for other people based on their emotions, doesn't really bend for other people. I didn't realize that I could be that kind of person and still be liked, because it felt like every small thing I did growing up would just garner horrible attention.
Where I have not seen a single political video, bro.
Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote that the surest way to corrupt the youth is to reward him, not for thinking differently, but for thinking exactly like the crowd that already loves him.
TikTok has been a place where a lot of people have found communities which have made them feel closer to something. Sometimes it's a little niche community, like people who collect every type of cologne and review it. Or sometimes it's one of the biggest communities, like book talk, where middle-aged women are ferociously corny.
I'm looking for a new book boyfriend. Billionaire. 6'5", brown eyes. Billionaire. 6'5", brown eyes. I'm looking for a new book boyfriend. Billionaire.
TikTok has also been held to some of the cringiest communities in the past couple of years on the internet. And one people are talking about now, which is getting worse by the day, is Gym Talk. Gym Talk is self-explanatory. It's TikToks posted by influencers whose content is solely the gym. And for a while, I would say it wasn't really too big on TikTok, because obviously at the start of TikTok, it got overshadowed by the Charli D'Amelios and Addison Rays and that era of TikTok. But every year, it's only gotten bigger, with creators streaming now and doing collabs with each other. Also, with the Looksmax community blowing up too, it kind of intertwined with the gym community. Just goes to show us that Clavicular is genuinely unreal in a way that's hard to even explain without sounding insane, but if you've watched him, you get it instantly. There's this overwhelming sense that he's operating on a completely different frequency than everyone else. Every stream feels intentional without ever feeling calculated, like he's just naturally in sync with the moment, the energy, and the people watching.
Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. I say no cheese. These motherfuckers loaded up with this piece of cheese. Two pieces of cheese.
If you couldn't tell, that was a joke, but it's a real comment someone's typed. One of the corniest things people do on Gym Talk is make edits of themselves. And I'm not talking about your normal run-of-the-mill edit of a before and after transformation of someone flexing, because we all like a good edit every once in a while. The edits on TikTok have gotten to a point where these people think they're filming for a full-on Marvel movie. And it's always filled with some corny-ass quote, like something you'd see on your local Amazon Wolf hoodie. 50% of the time is something about how you'll channel all your pain from the breakup into the weights. 30% of the time it's saying you're lazy and while you're sleeping he's working. And 20% of the time it's some edit saying you're not pushing yourself hard enough.
Doom shot, motherfucker.
So niche. So niche.
If you played that bass near a daycare, you would probably hospitalize all the kids. Like, bro, just lift the dumbbell, gang. It cannot be this deep. The problem with Gym Talk is people feel they need to stand out the most. There's already a huge problem in the gymfluencer community with people taking gear to level themselves up. You'll never look as good as somebody on gear that's showing themselves off on TikTok. Now it's pretty much be the biggest roided up influencer and trend for a year, then fall off. So with that, to do the most to get views. videos. The cloud chasing got so bad at a point, a couple of years ago, you may remember, but there was this whole epidemic of girls false accusing dudes at the gym. Like, they'd set up their phones and either try to act like some dude was creeping on them, but in reality, they may have been waiting for a machine and just wanted to know how long they were on it. Of course, I'm not downplaying any woman that actually gets creeped on in the gym, because that does happen. And everyone that goes to the gym knows that your eye wanders a lot because there's a lot going on. You're looking around to see which benches are open, which machines are open, which areas are open. So if some dude glances at a girl for a second or two, it's not like he's a complete which areas are going on. You're looking around to see which benches are open, which machines are open, which areas are open. So if some dude glances at a girl for a second or two, it's not like he's a complete creep and weirdo. But when the camera's out, they'll put in that 2-second glance and have some guy getting his life ruined over it. This probably reached its peak when an actual blind man got kicked out the gym for staring at a woman. Now all these stories completely change me when I'm at the gym. If I'm on a bench and a girl's in front of me, I either hit the meanest swerve down to stare at my phone, or stare up to the ceiling like I'm looking for heaven. I'm playing it safe. Overall, with the gym talk community, there still is some good with it. It's gotten a lot more people to get active in the gym, me included, and people can actually give good advice. Of course, when they're not shoving their product down your throat. People also give good recommendations for cutting food or bulking foods that you usually don't hear about. The next community we got is Bike Talk. Just like Gym Talk is pretty self-explanatory. It's a group of creators that do content on their motorcycles of a bunch of different stuff. You would expect more edits of them on the motorcycles themselves. Maybe a wheelie.
Nah, they would do anything.
For years. But it's usually them either dancing to some random song, making thirst trap edits of themselves, or doing some cringy mic'd up content for a minute trying to be funny. One weird thing I noticed in all their videos, they always have a helmet on. They can never do a face reveal for some reason. They truly be thinking they got so much aura that it isn't needed. I feel a lot of these dudes definitely buy the bike solely to make these videos on TikTok. Even though the community is cringe, it's grown insanely this past year. You could probably make a pretty penny grifting off this shit. As long as you're shirtless and ripped, there's gonna be some middle-aged woman in the comment section simping for you. The Gooner bike talkers have taken over so much it's irritating the other normal bike talkers, because now the community is purely known as dudes taking off their shirts and making these edits. This type of shit be going ham on Facebook though. The moms truly love it. I don't know what's worse though, the thirst trap ones or the mic'd up ones. The best way I can explain the humor is imagine 2016 Reddit humor plus 2000s Disney's kids show humor, and you've created the funniest bike talker to ever exist.
I'm like the new gen Skibbity toilet. I'm Skibbity recycling. Oh shoot. Oh. I'm so awkward. Unleash my power. The cozy just throw it back.
It 100% makes sense they do this at night. I couldn't imagine the type of stares they'd get doing this in the daytime. Imagine you went to go get some gas and you look to your left and see some dude on a bike shirtless filming and waving his body to the camera. A lot of them also try to claim they have autism and that's why they act like that. How is your content so cringe you can't even take credit for it and have to say it's because you're on the spectrum? And look, maybe I'm just jumping the gun, but I don't think all these dudes suddenly have autism after posting these. All these TikToks run on the same copy and paste type of humor too. It's them in front of their bike or on it, thinking of the newest, funniest 6'7" whatever meme, posting it with a corny caption. The main dude who made these actually had his account banned for a while, probably because so many people reported it and were hate watching. My thing with these bike talkers is why not do some mainstream type content blended in with them? Like they could easily do some vlogs or streaming, then it would all be completely fine. They're all stuck and confined for some reason to either making thirst traps or cringe mic'd up content. And the last one I want to talk about might be the worst one. Fruit Love Island. If you're a person with a non-internet poison brain, actually if you're watching me, let's be real, you probably are, then you may have not heard of Fruit Love Island and are wondering what it is. Fruit Love Island is a show on TikTok and accounts started posting this year, where it's Love Island but replace real humans with AI generated fruits and put them in the same freaky situations. For some AI slob, you would expect people to trash on it and not even watch it as usual. However, the account ended up blowing up and in 9 days it gained 3.1 million followers. When you watch watch it, it's not like this dude has a specific advanced AI where it's better than other ones. It's no different than the typical AI slop you see for memes. The characters at times are phasing through each other or have multiple eyes and limbs. The story was just too good for people, I guess, that they ignored it. You got people fully tapped into the lore of it that they do episode reviews and give their thoughts on it.
Thank God they sent Benito ass packing, but after watching episode 9, Charita deserves so much better. No bullshit. First and foremost, why the fuck was Mangella hoping to get coupled up with Coco Nick? The fuck is your problem, bro? Kiwilo been down for you from the jump, and you still trying to explore your connection with my mans with a sky top feed. I'm gonna need a female bombshell to come lock down my man Kiwilo, cause you been on some straight bullshit.
I'm sorry, who voted Draco? Y'all knew good and well he was going to sit up there and cause some trouble. Why on earth would y'all vote for him? Now, y'all better not be surprised when he steals Strawberryna, Mangelina, Watermelonina, and all the other girls over there.
Ah, yes. The world's limited drinkable water supply is getting siphoned by tech oligarchs every day. All while the population suffers and has to pay their bills because we're cockroaches to them. But guys, Mangella was betraying Kiwilo after all he did for her? How could he? We can't take this anymore. This isn't a small community too, y'all. These reviews and comments get a ton of likes. I do believe this is the first step of getting AI slop comfortable with the masses. I wouldn't be surprised if TikTok gave it a little more of an algorithm boost than other videos because they want people watching AI. If they can get people slowly used to it, they can pump unlimited content out with paying 99% less of the price. They finally won't have to worry about pesky actors complaining about work conditions and pay. And all this starts trending when the world is in one of its worst global war crises in decades. Coincidence? I think not. I like to think there aren't too many NPCs in the world and people aren't this smooth-brained. Seeing people happily go along with this and learning the full lore is making me think there's more smooth people than I thought. These aren't old boomers too, which we suspect fall for any AI. This is a majority Gen Z and Gen Alpha watching an actual AI slop show and investing in it. People took it in their own hands though and mass reported it so much it ended up getting banned. Then the creator ended up crashing out saying he wasn't gonna do the show anymore because TikTok kept taking down the videos. He thinks this is somehow a gotcha to the haters. This is literally what people wanted, like thank you for pulling the trigger yourself. Then he ended up getting unbanned though and managed to still post some vids. But after he came back, Sora AI ended up shutting down, so I'm not sure what he's gonna do. There's always begging on the side of a road with a sign. I see that every day. He definitely felt the walls closing in and the hate getting worse. As of me recording this today, he posted the finale and announced that he's done posting because TikTok removed him from the creator program. I'm so proud of us, man. Like, look what we can do as a generation when we team up on something. Instead of arguing about some bullshit gender wars or politics 24/7, we came together for a good cause. Cue that one pic saying Adolf Hitler did. He definitely set a precedent, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see another AI slop show blow up. After all this, I assume the next account that blows up won't last a week before getting taken down. People who watch this will have to look back in the past of the vids they made glazing it, which is even sadder. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Let me know if y'all want more corny communities. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And
how a speeding ticket turned into 17 felonies.
On August 4th,
Here
2000.
we go. Yeah, so if you get 17 felonies, you either committed like a act of terrorism or the cops just really don't like you. Like you really pissed them off.
25.
I feel like
Officers
this guy's
stopped
about
a
to really
speeding
piss him
vehicle,
off.
unaware it would soon lead to 10 felony charges.
Wait, 10? Hey! Did I just get clickbaited? What do you mean 10? What are you talking about?
What's up, man? I'm really trying to piss, man. Where you headed to? Home? Where you stay at?
A little hard to hear him.
So you still stay out in Chicago, you said?
It's just muffled audio, unfortunately.
Okay. Here, do me a favor. Come out with me. You can piss on the side of the road here. What? Yeah, go ahead, piss. Yeah, you can piss next to my car so you're not on camera. I'm sorry. Did that roll up?
Whoa, whoa, this feels like bait. This is crazy bait. What do you mean you can piss next to my car so you're not on camera? What?
You got no weapons, nothing on you, do you? No. Okay. You can, yeah, so piss at my back door, but don't open it because I have a dog. Or if you want to piss in the woods here, whatever you want. If you want to piss on, yeah, piss over there.
Oh, he's got something on him. He's got something on him, doesn't he? He's trying to ditch something. Ooh, no, yeah, he's gonna throw something. Wait, hold on.
My window.
going home, man. It's my birthday.
Feel better?
Yeah,
Oh, wait a minute.
August the 6th.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why I'm going home. Yeah, I wasn't speeding, man. You know that, right? 65, right? I thought I was...
You were doing 65. Hey, either way, you're not going to get any tickets.
Oh, I was finna say, I didn't know.
You were cooking, and then I got behind you, which is when you moved over.
Because I thought you was finna turn your lights on to get the guy in front of me. That's what I actually thought.
Yeah, I got
But I had to piss, though, too. So I was kind of like, man, if I pull over, I can't piss in front of the cop.
Where'd you say you're coming from, man?
I'm coming from 13 East.
Wait, bro gave the full address?
What took you out there?
Yeah, I was working for the Irish Pub
Oh,
Fest.
no, they know something. This is these aren't questions that you normally get asked. Like, this is not the moment that you get pulled over for a traffic offense and the cop starts asking you where you're coming from and where you're going. Like, even I've been pulled over on the highway before by state troopers, and like my license was suspended. They didn't even ask me those questions. I was never asked where I came from and where I was going. So, like, this guy knows something.
Oh, you were working out there.
Yeah, I just did a venue with...
He's got to have a lot of...
He works there, so
that's
I
what I'm
sell
guessing.
water for him. Okay. So I make a lot of, like, I might make like $400 a day.
Oh,
and it's my birthday. I need this money, man.
I was going to say,
you know?
damn, $400 a day is pretty good. It's more than I make.
So you going to give me a ticket for speeding?
No, you ain't getting no tickets. Hey, bro, you got anything illegal in the vehicle?
No, I don't.
Whoa.
No.
I don't smoke, bro. I can lose my job.
Any,
Oh, man. Man, I'm 53 years old. I'm gonna have a birthday, man. I don't want no trouble, man.
Nah, there it is. He knows. He knows something's in the car. All right, chat. What is it? What is this guy carrying?
Oxy.
Ooh, it's kind of hard. I don't know. I'm not getting a very good read on this guy. Maybe. Yeah, I could see a couple bricks in the back. Let's see.
Can I search your car?
No, man.
My bad.
I'm just asking. No.
That's crazy. He went from you're not getting a ticket to can I search your car? Whoa.
I haven't done anything. I know my rights. I'm not denying you or anything, but no.
All right.
No. I do got a fifth of Remy that is not open.
You got a what? A fifth of Remy?
Remy is not open.
Okay.
So, no, it's my birthday. I got clothes everywhere, all type of shit.
Okay.
I got some water I stole from my job. So, no, you can't search my car. Sorry.
All right.
I don't have anything illegal, though.
Okay.
But thank
Nah, he started. You see how he was nice and quiet until the cop asked to search, and now he's talking too much? Nah, he's got some shit, dude. He's got some shit, chat.
And puts the camera over.
He's got some shit in the car.
But I said, no, he can't search the car because I said no. Because I don't want my rights violated. I've been to prison and all that shit. I know what to do already. I don't want to smoke.
What you went to prison for?
Man, I went to prison for robbery and some shit.
Yeah? With a gun or what?
No, actually, I was the driver.
How long did you do?
7 years, 3.5.
Where at? DOC or?
Yeah.
You're at it.
No, I'm just asking because you're from
It
Illinois.
showed up, didn't it?
I'm doing your warning. What else you been arrested for?
Man, I've been arrested for, like when? Like what year?
I don't know. You've been arrested.
This guy. The cop goes, what else have you been arrested for? This fucking guy has to ask what year. That's not the right answer, dude.
You did 7 years for robbery?
I did attempted
That's not the right answer.
And I did I had a
fuck, wrong dialogue option. Reload the safe, bro.
Yeah,
Safe's coming.
I'm grown now, bro. I ain't no kid no more. I don't do that shit.
You used to hang out with
Don't say that. Man, why you cussing me about my kids? You saw the tattoo,
no,
man.
I didn't actually.
Yeah, I'm 53, man. I'm old as hell, man. I ain't got time for that shit.
All right, bro.
Speech failed, bro.
I haven't done anything, bro. Can you leave me alone? I'm going home.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
I just want to shit.
So here's the thing. I think you're lying to me about not having some. I think you have some illegal in the car.
Here, I'll give you what I got.
What do you got?
Whoa! Whoa!
I'll take another.
Whoa, this is a unique strap. I've never heard of this before. I'll give it to you.
Damn, man.
I just don't.
I'll give you
I just
what
don't
I
like
got.
people reaching in there without You know what I mean? Without me seeing, because
Hey, do you know?
What if you reach in there and grab a pistol? You know what I'm saying?
Hell no.
You know, I'm just saying.
Damn, bro, you smell like.
Nah,
that had to be a
Oh,
car
whoop.
going bad.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't smoke.
As soon as
Trying to
you
move the
open
window
door,
down.
I
Accidentally
smell
dragged it.
Yeah.
I don't smoke. That's bullshit. I don't smoke none of that shit. I don't do.
All right.
See, that was the car,
Be for real. Be honest with me. You got something else in there?
Nah, bro. Hey, please let me go and shit, please.
Be honest with me.
Damn, man, honest with you. What do you want me to say?
And you said this was new. You lied to me about this too.
No, I bought it yesterday, bro. I don't know what I'm drinking. I'm just drinking.
No, I feel you. Was it?
Damn, what I'm drinking, I'm just
I
drinking.
don't got nothing, bro.
I'm gonna search the car.
For what? I haven't done anything.
Well, when you open the door of that glove box, it smells like.
No, it didn't. I'm gonna open the door for you right now.
Nah.
It doesn't smell like car roll bad. I'll do it for you. You don't smell no there. You don't smell no there. This is a new car and it's a non-smoking car. Why the would I smoke it?
I'm just telling you, when you opened it,
I smelled it too. I thought it was you though.
I thought it was you.
I've seen that tech.
Yo, this guy needs to stop talking. This guy really, really fucking needs to stop talking.
Yeah. I don't know. It's blowing in the air, but I already know what it was. It was a car.
It's blowing in the air. Someone's smoking in the bush up there. I thought it was you.
Okay,
I just because I don't want no trouble.
I'm not gonna. Ain't gonna be no trouble. Here, just send my passenger seat real quick.
Nah, this is.
What you got in the car, bro?
I don't got nothing.
He's doing this guy filthy.
No, can I shit, please?
You gonna shit out here?
I'm gonna try to if you give me some tissue. I don't want to shit on myself. I got you.
I don't want to shit on myself.
Just send my car real quick.
Bro, why are you violating my rights?
I'm not.
Can you get a white shirt out here or something?
Yeah. I got someone coming.
I ain't gonna make it.
You ain't gonna make it? You gonna shit out here? Do what you gotta do, bro.
Whoa, he's taking a shit.
Still. What is happening? That's all I got.
Whoa, did you just hand him some TP? Whoa.
All right, have a seat here. He can't get you.
Why are you giving me a hard time, though? Did I do something?
But he actually just shat in the bush. Wait, he actually just took a shit.
I've been respectful. I've been nice to you.
Why are you asking me to take that? Why are you asking me to search the car?
He threw some.
No.
You don't smell anything.
Right. So here's the thing. Again, you lied to me about that little fifth. You said it was brand new. That's just half gone.
Well, I didn't know. I
don't know
forgot.
what else you're lying to me, about. You know
about
what I mean?
A pint of a drink?
I'm just saying. If you were honest with me about that.
Oh, shit.
No.
It's in the back seat on
What do you got?
The fifth, I just remembered.
The other one? All right.
Yeah, I gave you the wrong one. Bro, I don't lie.
I just feel like you're lying to me about having something in the car.
Why do you feel that way? What have I done? Because I'm black?
No, that has nothing to do with it. I have encounters with black people all the time that don't.
Yeah, he took a shit and wiped poorly, so it overpowers the drug smell on him for the K9.
Don't lie to
It's
me.
my birthday, and I got, look, this is the real thing, the real reason. I got to be back at 12 o'clock,
It's
bro.
brilliant. It's actually a brilliant strat.
It's like 11 o'clock.
You ain't got no dope in there?
I don't, why you keep saying dope, bro?
No guns?
Why the would I have a gun?
I don't know.
Oh, I know what it is.
What?
I said you couldn't search my car. That's why you want to search.
No.
What's
Again,
your probable cause?
once again, I just told you that open right there, when you open the door, it smelled like.
It didn't smell like. I opened it twice, bro.
You said.
Come on, bro.
I mean, I think the whole smells like thing it's really like iffy that cops can do that. I think that's a pretty, like, we can all agree on that. Regardless of whether this guy actually has in the car, that is such an easily abusable thing. Like, it is so easy for any cop to be like, I smell. There's no way to prove that in court. Like, there's no, like, on the body cam clip, what was his probable cause? He smelled. What's the proof he smelled? It just smelled like it. He's just really, he has a really good nose, Like, it's just so fundamentally flawed that someone's car can be searched on the odor of. It shouldn't be that way.
Whites, man. I don't want my car to get searched
Goblin
because I have shit in there that I
wisdom.
don't want you to take. I got a straight razor that I shave with.
Bro.
But why would you want to search the car and I haven't done anything? You don't even have probable cause to search the car. You're trying to trip me up, so you hot dogging.
You hot dogging me.
You
Right?
hot dogging me?
You trying to ask me for the
I've never heard
certificate
that.
or something, and I just told you I don't have anything. I gave you my driver's license. I gave you my information. I told you where I was coming from. I told you where I was going. I gave you the little slip of the half a pipe. So what the have I did? I haven't violated any laws. I just got one thing to say to you.
What's that?
Why would you do me on my birthday? It's my birthday. I'm on my way.
Yo, he's playing every card in the book. Why would you do me on my birthday?
No, that's cool.
That's the white shirt?
No, I'll get a white shirt out here though if you want one. So just stand by with him real quick. No, you can sit in there. I'm gonna close the door, and then.
Why would you do me on my birthday?
No.
Okay.
Because I told you I haven't done anything. You don't have any reason. You making me feel like you're trying. Well, can I watch you search my car? Yeah, it's all recorded. I don't want you to put anything in my car.
Stay in there.
Oh.
You're gonna stay in there. I'm gonna search it real quick, and we'll go from there. There's nothing in there. You'll be on your way.
Bro,
all right. Just don't lock the doors, otherwise we're gonna start having problems.
I didn't lock the door.
I'm just saying because you didn't want to give me the key. I'm just saying.
Damn.
There. I haven't even done anything, bro.
All right.
Okay, what do we got? 17 felonies is nuts, and so far he hasn't really done anything. So what are we talking about? What do we got here? Even in the beginning of the video, it said 10 felonies. What could he possibly have here?
Money.
Oh, my God. Okay, money in a plastic... Okay, a scale? All right, dude. Okay.
Hooked.
Okay. Holy shit. Oh, there's definitely some in that scale.
Residue. Hey, that's my money from my job now. He's violating my law. I haven't done anything. No speeding ticket or anything. I haven't did shit. All I did was pulled over to let him go by. I haven't done anything else. He's gonna find my drink on the floor.
One more time?
He's gonna find that drink on the floor.
Would you have some more Remy?
Yeah, but it's my birthday.
What does he have here? It's blurred?
Oh, there it is.
What is it?
It's stuffed in the shoe.
What is it?
Multiple
Why is
baggies.
it? Oh.
Told you I didn't have anything. What?
Come on, bro.
Bro, you know that's not my shit.
You know that's not my shit.
The name and the shoes and everything, bro.
You can hold on to that.
Yeah, you do.
Sir, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Can you go to the car and see if you smell?
I don't need to. It's his deal. I'm back here with you.
He's lying on me.
He's lying on me.
Oh, there's the gun.
Oh.
Loaded magazine.
Oh, Taurus, are you fucking...
One in the chamber. What's up, buddy? Huh?
I'm gonna have to bond out. Can you grab my money and my green card?
There's no bond in Illinois anymore.
Well, can you still grab my money and everything, please?
Yeah.
What you find?
You know what I found.
In the gym shoes?
Huh?
In those gym shoes, right?
Hold on, let me read to Miranda.
I mean, he really shouldn't. Like, dude, why is he acknowledging where it was exactly? He's trying to argue it's not his while also directly acknowledging he knew exactly where it was in the car. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Can I call him and tell him?
Who?
The person whose shoes those is and let him know what the person he just did.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Is your camera on?
Yeah.
You ain't had no reason to pull me over. I was not speeding or anything. You already told me that. Because I said you couldn't search my car, you violate my Fifth Amendment and due process and search the car and you find something. Is that fair to the law to me? Because I told you you couldn't search my car? I have a right to tell you can't search my car.
Okay.
I can't search your, but I said you couldn't search my car. You violated my right and searched the car anyway.
Benet.
I haven't done anything.
That'll play out in court.
No, but why though? And take me away from my birthday. I got all type of...
Nah, don't take him away from his birthday, bro.
It's a fucking gun in there for real?
Nah.
What the man? Man, Tino, your ass out.
I'm not gonna lie, he's gonna get more time for the gun, because if you listened earlier, he mentioned that he went to jail for 7 years for robbery. So there's a 0% chance he's allowed to own a gun. And he's fucked. They don't play with that shit at all. Like, felons possessing guns routinely can get a decade plus. Easy, on that one charge. It's crazy. It is nuts how hard they go for that. I knew somebody, it was a very close friend, who he got shot at. Like, these people literally, like, shot his house, right? Like, they shot through the garage door. He went and he grabbed the gun that someone else, like one of the roommates in the house, someone else who lived in the house owned, right? Ran back outside, literally shot one in the air. He got like 12 years for that or some shit. The people who shot at the house got out in like months. So they just got like reckless like discharge of a firearm or some shit. Whereas anyone who possesses a firearm, and the way they got him, the way they caught him for going out and shooting in the air, is they came and he had cameras on the house, and they came to collect the camera footage. Detective showed up because like anytime there's a gunfire, they're sending a detective out, right? Detective shows up. They're like, oh, there's cameras on this place. We're taking the DVR, and they saw him go outside with the gun, and they gave the victim of the crime a fuckload of time. That's crazy.
I'm snitching. I'm snitching. I am so telling on you, man. I knew I should have shook that car.
The man was charged with armed habitual criminal, armed violence, unlawful possession of a controlled substance with intent to deliver, delivery, possession, 2 counts of unlawful use or possession of a weapon by a felon, possession of
this wasn't in California what I'm talking about. This is in Illinois.
A firearm without a valid FOID, and aggravated unlawful use of a weapon. Officers recovered approximately 35 grams of and 85 grams of during the investigation.
Damn, it's over. It's over. Yo, birthday ruined. Birthday instantly pissed on.
And the firearm seized was later determined to be linked to a crime that occurred in Chicago in April 2025. Records also showed that he has a lengthy criminal history dating back to 1990. After further investigation, the case was expanded through indictment from an initial 10 felonies to a total of 17 felony charges. The case remains in the pretrial stage with no pleas entered, and the defendant is currently being held.
So I would imagine a lot of the charges, because like, yeah, he had possession and probably a lot of modifiers, but I would imagine a good like third of those charges were probably just modifiers based on his criminal history. They have all types of shit in Illinois that they hit you with. Habitual offender. Like they have habitual violent offender, they have habitual felon. There's like different habitual offender charges you can get in Illinois that they stack on when you get arrested repeatedly. There's like a 3-strike system where I think once you get arrested for 3 felonies, you start getting habitual offender modifiers, right? And those will lock you up for years. A lot of the time, those type of modifiers will have more time attached to them than the crime you committed to get the modifier. You know, this guy's going to be gone for a long ass time, unfortunately. This guy's cooked.
Held under a pretrial detention order with no sentencing issued at this time.
Yeah, he's fucked, dude. I would be shitting myself if I were that guy. Like, he's fucked, dude. R.I.P. to that man, dude. R.I.P. to that fucking man. Yeah, I guess he did shit himself. But no, he got it out. He wiped and everything, too. The cop gave him TP, so... He didn't technically shit himself. He got the shit out in time.
The human brain loves gambling, which is why today I'm creating a loot box / lunchbox empire in Fallout 4. The lunchbox item can actually be built at your settlement using the builder. These boxes can then be opened for random loot, some valuable and some not so much, with some items selling for much more than the lunchbox itself and others only selling for a singular cap. So today I'm exploiting this mechanic, and I will be attempting to get rich by selling the boxes themselves and by creating a machine to generate infinite loot from the boxes. So stick around to see how you can generate hundreds of items out of thin air in this very wacky Empire video. Hope you enjoy. Holy crap, we're playing Fallout 4 today. Leave a comment if you've ever played Fallout 4. I think I have.
The bug can
but today
have
it's
the
time to make a
room,
loot
bro.
box, lunchbox, Empire.
I and rushing